Yes, no, yes, no. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, all right, all right. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, let me send a message out, then we'll get into it. Sorry for not getting some trades out a little bit earlier. I took my first nap in like I don't even know how many years. Feeling a little bit sick today, so we'll roll with it and get into it. Obviously, we're starting to see some soul strengths. I kind of shouted that out yesterday. The main level we were looking for soul to be flipped uh, got flipped and absolutely ripped. And then today, I really like the 197 retest. We got that. Unfortunately, I didn't call anything out. But definitely, I think kind of shifting your attention a little bit away from ETH into Sol and Sol betas is not the worst idea. Granted, I still think keeping an eye on ETH is a good idea as well. I'm kind of shifting my focus a little bit more into Sol betas. I started picking up some ARC spot last night. I got fully filled on that. I might cut it. I might cut it early, depending on how the daily closes on Sol, just because a lot of the movement that I think is going to come from ARC is going to be Sol related as well. Obviously, it's a Sol beta. Um, we're in JTO as well, another Sol beta. Pump 17% from entry, so happy with that. And then in whiff as well, another Sol beta. It's up 55% from entry, and then SPX to still leaving a runner for this for the wick. That is up. That pumped 40% from entry. So yeah, hopefully Sol pumps for us. That would be nice. That would be very 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 nice. I would be happy with that. Um, but in other words, we'll talk about some stuff outside of Sol. I'm a little bit upset with myself for not taking this ETH long. I can't lie to you. I'm a little bit upset with myself for not taking this ETH long. There's no doubt about it. Um, or short, geez. As you can see, not feeling too great today. So, um, but yeah, for me on ETH, I really like 35.75. I think it was. Let me grab the exact entry on a clearer chart for you guys. Yeah, 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 yeah. I really, really, really like this level if we get it. So 35.70 to 35.30, I think would be really nice. We're failing to hold Monday low at the moment. Normally on this run up on ETH, you would see right, you would see a sweep of Monday lows and then on the reclaim target back to Monday highs, right? Like it was a very quick trade. And at this moment, we're kind of just chopping around Monday lows and we failed to hold the reclaim. So just something to pay attention to. I think if you're looking to scalp long ETH and ETH related coins, that's the level to do it. Somebody asked me to take a peek at ENA. I could do that, no problem. I think Eli might be in ENA if I'm not mistaken. So ENA is heavily related to ETH funding rates, right? So as ETH funding rates go up and as ETH goes up, you can expect ENA to be moving. I mean, at this point, as long as ENA holds 45 cents, I think it'll continue to leg up. And that's assuming that ETH continues legging up as well. Um, Trading ENA lower time frame for me is a bit of a hassle, right? Operating on leverage with ENA is something that I don't particularly enjoy. It's a little bit choppy lower time frame, especially like 5 minute, 15 minute. You're just getting very big wicks to both sides, right? Like very very wicky price action, and for me, it's not something that I really enjoy. But I'll try to find an entry for you if you're not already in with Eli. I don't know what his entry was, so Really, the only thing that I'd look to play on ENA is a reclaim of 52 cents, and I'd still leave room to add. If you're expecting ENA to leg up, what you'd want to see is this reclaim of, like I said, 52.50, and then target these highs. But not a huge fan of trading ENA on leverage. I think you have better opportunities and cleaner trade setups. But that's just me. That's just me. 5.08, if not mistaken, so break even at the moment. 0.508. He's in it. What else you guys got? What else you guys got? Chart chart request wise. Anything. Render FLR. Okay, so FLR we'll start with. KLR for FLR. FLR is not even available on my exchange. I don't think. I'm gonna assume right off the bat, depending on what it looks like today. Maybe today the volume's increasing, but I know FLR is normally a lower volume coin. Oh, but this is a very clean trade setup, KLR. If you already know exactly what I'm looking at, you get that reclaim on FLR. That's the trade you take, easy. 2360. The only weird part is right with this vertical accumulation lower time frame. Like I'd like to see us tap this order block, give us a little bit tighter inval, and then go from there, right? Because if not, if we just reclaim straight from here, your invalidation is going to be okay. I guess 6% isn't that bad. It's always hard for me to tell in these lower time frames, but yeah, I'd play that reclaim for sure. What else we got? What else we got? Render midterm got you on render. Ventura, how you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see all the people in here. We got some new faces, which I love. Um, so welcome. If you guys are new to Wealth Group, go ahead and drop a little comment in the chat. Give you a warm welcome. Render is actually pretty darn interesting to me, which I didn't think I'd say again, right? Like I kind of distance myself from the AI narrative a little bit. You might be able to pull this back even further. Yeah. Let's play this. I kind of distanced myself from the AI narrative after the ASI FET merger, but we're gonna get rid of this just for a second. Or you know what we'll do? We'll use these. So what we're seeing is kind of a double bottom accumulation, manipulation, reaccumulation. I think if we can start closing some dailies above 4.707, this might be able to rip a little bit. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that, set some alerts. I don't have a trigger to buy yet, but if we start closing some dailies, like I said, above 47, what would that be? 4.74. I think as a spot pickup, just with your stops below. Let's see how wide this would be. I think you could take this on like a 20% stop and target at least a 2x, right? It's actually one of the nicer looking setups for sure. And just like with JTO, I think from a higher time frame standpoint, this is one of the. This is gonna sound this is going to sound oxymoronical because obviously it hasn't been the strongest mover off the lows. But I think from a higher time frame standpoint, this is actually one of the stronger looking alts, right? We haven't broken down considerably from like 2024 range lows. If you look at a lot of other alts, the reason we're getting such massive moves off the lows is because of how much they're down, right? Um, so you're getting more of a squeeze, but I think longer term, uh, this is one of the better looking alts. So good shout on that. Banana. Banana. I mean, honestly, I have no trade on banana. I missed what the trade would have been. This is a very, very clear 4 hour reclaim setup. I mean, you guys can go check out exactly what I'm talking about in what's it called? In Visionary Vault in our educational section. Super clean. Super clean. But at this point, the way we're retracing, like, just not really something that I'm interested in. If you want to enter on a pullback, I can find you an entry on a pullback, but um, you can try rebidding 2850 after we fulfill this imbalance and start to tap this breakaway gap. But I mean, that is definitely risky. If you're dead set on having some exposure on banana, you could take something like this on one more dip and just keep your stops below these lows. If you're absolutely dead set on it. But I mean, I feel like the trade really would have been on this reclaim, and then you would have gotten stop break even. But what else do we got? Oh, the mogul soul. There we go. Hey, thanks for joining, brother. Happy to have you. Yes, sir, Hadar. Stop loss on ETH. Are you long on ETH at the moment? I should probably just delete this so I'm not looking back and thinking, man, what a fumble not taking this. I should probably just delete this. If you're gonna long here, which how are you looking to play it, right? Do you want a tighter invalidation? Because if you're gonna long here, which you're longing this 5 minute imbalance, you take it with your stops below these lows. If you're dead set on having ETH exposure, for me personally, I want lower. I want a little bit lower. I want a little bit lower, or I'll entertain the possibility of some new longs on this reclaim, on the 3720 reclaim. So yeah, if you're dead set on having exposure once more. So here's the thing, and I especially like saying this to new members, right? Like on every single pair, pretty much I can find where I want to enter, where I want to exit, where I'd be looking to position long, where I'd be looking to position short. But what I find is, and I'm not saying this is the case for you. I'm just saying in general because we have a lot of newer members. Don't always feel like you have to be in a position, and make sure you're actually having a trigger before you enter a trade, right? Like everybody wants to be long on ETH right now because ETH's been performing, but make sure it's in a setting where you're actually getting a trigger setting where it's it makes sense to be doing. And at this moment, right, like you're coming into you're coming into a nice level intraday. Um, but there's two things. A, we're accepting below Monday low, and B, I still personally think we could retest lower, but that's just me. Absolutely, Mogul. So, and I'm not saying that's the case for you. That's not the, it may not be the case, but I'm just saying, especially with the influx of newer members, I always like bringing that up. Um, because in up only mode, it is pretty easy to make money, but it's got to be in the right context. And what else we got chart request wise? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Tau is coming to a big level for me to start picking up some spot. I've been saying for I don't know how many months. I think one of the easier trades in the market is just rebuying Tau. Is just rebuying Tau on the 500 reclaim. So I'll start to pick up some Tau spot. So maybe we get the rotation from. I don't know if you guys were around. What would this be? Late 2023, early 2024. There was a pretty heavy correlation from memes to AI rotation. So the way the market is setting up, how I'm looking at it is, I'm thinking, right, we're getting ETH rotation right now, starting to see some strength in the Sol. Subsequently, with Sol pumping, we'll start to see more memes popping off, and then further down the line, memes rotate to AI. AI, you'll probably start to see some rotation into RWA. I'm just not going to overcomplicate it and play the same playbook we played. What would that be? 18 months ago. And yeah, another thing I was looking at was let's get a completely clear chart for you guys with absolutely nothing on it. Well, that doesn't have anything. That doesn't have nothing on it, but what was it? What was it? What was it? We might see a situation similar to 2021, right? Where after summer ends, going into August, going into Q4, that's when we get our considerable pullback before our next leg up to 5K. I really don't know. I really don't know if we're going to get our move to 5K within the next few weeks. I think start accepting above 4K, right? Like something like this. Let's say we reject here, which I mean, obvious 3-day res at the moment, obvious higher time frame res. We are at res on ETH right now. Make no mistake about it. Let's say we dip down, fill this imbalance, mid 3200s, and then start reclaiming 4K. Then yeah, 5K is definitely on the table, no problem. Um, but this is a really important 3-day close coming up. Honestly, super important 3-day close coming up. Absolutely, Funk Shaman. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I like to tell people for sure. Don't always feel like you have to be in a trade. Um, oh, my boy Mogul Soul long ETH, he actually got a decent entry. Yeah, don't always feel like you have to be in a trade. A and B, if you're a newer member and you're operating on leverage, the biggest advice I can give is make sure to actually take profits off your exchange. So, The majority of people who make money on this, who make or have made money on this move up, will give it back. Like, statistically, that is factual. It's objective. The people who have made money on this move up, there's a solid chance they give it back. In order to mitigate that, don't feel bad about actually taking those profits and going and offboarding, taking it to the bank rather than keeping it on your exchange and just saying, oh, well, my exchange portfolio is up massively. My leverage trading portfolio is up massively. If you don't take it off your exchange, chances are at some point in time you will give it back. So those are really the two key pieces of information I can have is don't feel like you always have to be in a trade, and make sure if you're happy with your profits, take some of them to the bank. Take some of them to the bank. The amount of people that I've seen round trip, man, I can't even describe it. Is there any AVAX? Yeah, I can do AVAX. Is there any trader here in WG just for intraday trading? I would say pretty much everybody. I would say pretty much everybody. We have more market analysts that are focused a little bit more on swing trading, and then but I would say the sweeping majority are intraday. Personally, I do a little bit of intraday trading that I don't call out on my own. Lower time frame scalping. But for me, I would say standard taking 3-4 trades a week. Right? This is the time where you do less and make more. And up only, you do less and make more. Letting positions play out. And yeah. Soul, I gave a Soul analysis earlier today on the 197 bounce. Like, probably should have called that one out. Unfortunately, I didn't, but I put in my channel 197, 196 was the bid, and that absolutely was the bid. At this moment, it gets a little bit weird. It's getting increasingly more difficult to rip longs on Soul. I think the safer trade is probably waiting for the reclaim above 204 for continuation up into 210. But that's going to be a very choppy trade. I'm just letting you know. And then AVEX. AVEX normally takes a little bit longer to run, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, this was like, let's say September 24, October 24 is when we really started to run, September, October 24. And I'll compare that to some of our other quote unquote majors. I don't know if, what am I doing here? What did I say? September, October. So actually a little bit earlier. So AVEX should have our attention now. AVEX should definitely have our attention now. Let's clear this up completely. Get a fresh new chart. I can't even tell you the last time I traded AVEX. It has to be a few months since I've traded AVEX, but this is good shout on this because this is starting to look very, very good. If we flip up on 27 cents, I think you just buy spot and at minimum target this gap fill to 34. That's a great shout. I'm gonna set my alerts on that. That's a really nice setup for sure. Dan asked for two charts, both bangers. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Abe got you on Abe. Aave, this is another one that's very so ETH betas. I don't know if you guys noticed. Like I said this about ENA. ETH betas trading on leverage are kind of a pain in the ass, especially Aave and ENA for whatever reason, just kind of a pain in the ass to trade on leverage. For me personally, I don't know if it just doesn't fit my system well. Um, that being said, Aave, one of these stronger, higher time frame charts on alts. Um, let's get rid of all of this. It's terrible. Get rid of this. I think Aave 295 to 288 retest with your stops below 275 or 325 or 326 rather reclaim. Those are the two setups I'd look to take on Aave. So two setups you can take there. Two setups I'd take on Aave. What else we got? What else we got? We'll keep chugging along. Keep chugging along. Kind of a choppy start to the week. I can't lie to you. Kind of a choppy start. Do you use POCs? I do not use POCs. I do not use POCs. I was supposed to have a strategy workshop running last week, but Discord was having a bunch of problems with audio. My trading strategy is more market structure and price action focused. Um, Very simple, actually, very simple. It does require a bit of attentiveness, and there are obviously nuances as with everything else. In trending environments, all I'm looking for is acceptance above a level that previously capped us, right? Like a 4 hour supply, um, coupled with a trend break, to target external liquidity from whatever move down. And then on pullbacks, what you're going to see me doing on pullbacks pretty much 9 times out of 10 is this right here. 9 times out of 10, this is what you'll see me longing on pullbacks. So I will bid the 0.75 um, coupled with an imbalance or demand on pullbacks, and that's just drawing fibs from either lower time frame or most of the time hourly. So like hourly and 15-minute, I would say what I operate most on when it comes to pullback setups. Drawing from strong lows to weak highs, drawing liquidity, looking for higher. Um, but yeah, it's just 0.75 imbalance overlap. Most of the time what I'm taking, and then reclaim setups when you're in trending environments are very, very, very lucrative. Especially when you're having alts popping 50, 60, 70% in a day. So, I mean, if you go look back at all of my trades from this year, every single one of them will fit the exact same parameters, right? It will either be a 0.75 imbalance retest or a reclaim setup without fail. There's nothing else that I will take. POCs are great though. So the thing is, POCs 9 times out of 10. So POCs are the highest volume, highest traded area in the market, right? Candle wise. Imbalances normally overlap with POCs because of that, right? Because when you get an imbalance, right, it's this high volume candle that leaves fair value on either higher or lower. That's normally going to be your higher volume candle. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, that's going to overlap with a POC. What's up, Mystic? Can you explain a 0.75 imbalance retest, please? Yeah, yeah. So really, you get your fibs. People play a lot of different fib levels. For me personally, 0.75 has been absolute money. So all I'm looking for is a 0.75 retest that lines up with an imbalance. So like let's go, where would it be from? Where did I draw these from earlier? Give me 1 second. I don't know if ETH's the greatest example. I think I drew them from here would be an example. Like let's say on this 15 minute, if this overlapped with a 0.75, then I'd be taking that trade. So, all right, a lot of depressing music today. Jeez. Let's go. And if you're doing those, like I said, normally I'm drawing from if I'm longing a pullback, I'm drawing from strong lows to weak highs, not poor lows, strong highs. And if you don't know how to map those out on your own, there are plenty of indicators for that, so don't feel bad about using those. But yeah, like I said, it's the 0.75 fib overlapping with an inbound is a very, very high confluence trade. I think I put out a 4 coin limit on. Yeah, right, right. So Farcoin, same thing. Imbalance retest. That's pretty much it. Like I said, if you guys go down to the different ways to trade the same market and data, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. TA is just important to set guidelines for triggers to enter trades and take profit. And really, it's just the perspective that you have on the market and what works best for you. And that's it. TA is I feel like a lot of beginners get super, super, super focused on technical analysis, and it's not as important as you would think. Yeah, I should probably cut arc here soon. Is this going to be recordings? Yeah, Cypress is in here, so it should be recorded. I'm gonna do a workshop at some point as well. Um, so we'll go over that more. Exactly, Ventura. Exactly. Exactly, exactly, exactly. What do we got on pump? Jeez, man. Pump is not fun. Screen not loading. I'm not too sure as to why that might be, but I will say that Discord has been having a lot of problems lately, so that could be why. But all right. It seems like we covered a lot. We're kind of dwindling down the audience count, but probably a good spot to wrap it up. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to tag me in chart ideas, active questions. Vegeta, it's gonna be recorded, and then NZQ, it's gonna be recorded too. The recording will be posted. So if you guys want to watch it back, feel free to do so. Um, but yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody coming by. And like I said, if there's any questions that you have, don't feel bad about reaching out. And yeah, let's just continue to do what we've been doing, keep making money. Um, as we approach, right, like I said, ETH is definitely at some higher time frame res. I think right now and while we're chopping, it's becoming increasingly more important to preserve your capital. Um, best case scenario, right? You hit some nice trades on the run up. Your portfolio is looking good. You withdraw some. You protect your capital while we're chopping. We get an alt flush. Then you start to punch some longs. And next thing you know, you've compounded your account 3, 4x, right? So um, just make sure, especially in times of chop like this, do not overtrade. Do not overtrade. Do not overtrade. Do not overtrade. Less is more at this current moment. So that's the best advice I can give. And yeah, alrighty. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Same stream, same time, and then Thursday morning as well. And yeah, I appreciate it, everybody. You guys have a great time. All right. Peace, peace, peace. Oh, he said, yo, Bryce. Oh, oh, I see you, brother. See you, Vet. Hey, Vet, we'll see you in a second, General, brother. Peace, peace.